You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back. Steve Boone, bass guitarist for the Lovin Spoonful. Is our guest this morning on Byline. I have to stop every time any of the music plays because I want to listen. All right, so John left in '68.
That's right.
And then it stopped.
What
did you do?
Well, Jerry, Joe, and I finished an album and a single, Never Going Back, was the last Lovin Spoonful single in the 60s. And then we toured and supported it for about 4 months, and then we all just went to do our solo career. I produced an album for Mercury Records, and as soon as that was done, I bought a sailboat and moved to the islands for 4 years to songwrite and just to recharge my batteries.
And then there were some reunions.
Yes, there were.
Uh-huh.
In 1977, Paul Simon called up John and said, listen, I would love to have the band appear in a movie I'm making called One Trick Pony. And the movie appearance consisted of a live concert at the Concord Hotel in the Catskills,
right.
And the audience was full of music business people. And it was the first time we had all played together in 10 years or so, 9 years. And it was stunned the audience. There was like this hush went over the whole crowd when we did the first song. And
you could feel it. You could just
feel it like as though a wave swept over the audience. And it was just magical. And we sounded so good, and the band just performed at its peak.
Was it hard to get the sound back?
I thought it would be, but we only had 3 days to rehearse.
Wow.
And we surprisingly clicked.
There have been persistent rumors over the years that John Sebastian was difficult and that had some sharp differences with others in the group. Anything to that?
No, he's no more difficult than I am.
Well, you're not at all, so.
So that answers that. John's not difficult. John's a demanding artist. He wants things to be done right. John is extraordinarily talented as a songwriter and as a musician. Some people don't realize how deep the depth of his musical talent is. So he wants things to be done right. Within the band, I would say that because of the dynamic of he being the principal songwriter, he might have put more pressure on the other band members and the management to have things more his way. But I don't think that was anything that I hold any kind of resentment about. I thought, and I still have a very good friendship with John. In fact, we still write songs together. And in fact, I'm heading up there to his house soon to finish up some songs.
Let's fast forward to March 6th of the year 2000. Tell everybody what happened.
Well, we were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We have a clip of this.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's watch it.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Here I am in my zoot suit. At least I had more hair then.
Well, I think it's important that the Lovin Spoonful start out by thanking a group of men who did something at a time before it was really easy to do. That's being a roadie. And this goes back in the days before they had those nice rolling cases, I'd also like to thank our Jewish angel, Cass Elliot, because I probably wouldn't have met Sally without Cass. Thank you.
Well, what was that moment like?
Well, it was a fabulous honor. And I think we had been nominated 3 or 4 times previous to that and hadn't made it in. I think all 4 of us had more or less just thought, well, maybe we're just not going to get into the hall. So finding out that we did then, it was, a little bit of a surprise. But I thought we earned it. I thought we deserved it. And so for me, it was just like, well, good thing, good deal.
And then in December 2002, Sally passed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had a very interesting career number 2.
Number 3 and 4. Oh. Now, he not only, when he left the band, he went out solo, made an album with Jerry Yester, went out with Chris Christopherson as a backup guitarist, Went to Canada, back to Canada.
Because he was from Canada.
He was from Canada,
Right.
from Toronto. Went back to Toronto and became a producer for CBC, Canadian Broadcasting. Did a TV show in Toronto. Moved up to Kingston on the lake and opened a restaurant, Chez Piggy, which still to this day
Huge
is
success.
legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary.
And his daughter runs it today. Does she
His
not?
daughter runs
Yeah.
it today, yeah.
But the group, the Lovin Spoonful, still maintains a very hectic, I would say, touring schedule.
Yeah, I would say it's hectic for, our age, and to be out there and doing it, traveling on the road is not easy under any
You're
circumstance.
going to Canada
Going to Canada tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Head off for Vancouver, British Columbia. Looking forward to that show. Everybody tells me the hall we're working in is a fabulous place, so I'm looking forward to that.
Why do you think the music's been so enduring?
I think that we were just broad in our appeal. I think that a lot of people have heard the music outside of the context of our albums and movies and soundtracks, and other artists have done our songs. It's been in TV and radio commercials. We get a lot of comments that, oh, I've heard that song, but I didn't know who did it, and then they find out it was the Lovin Spoonful. And Nashville cats welcomed us to the Nashville community, and we became very, very popular in the country set when
Sure.
at the time there wasn't a lot of crossover.
Sure. What's your life like now? You're married.
Yes, I'm married to a tremendously talented young gal, and she is an animator and a songwriter and a producer, and she's just finished producing a band that she created in the internet. It's a virtual band done in cartoon animation.
And writes the music.
She writes
Do you
all the
collaborate with
music.
her?
She writes all the music, and she sings all the parts. She's got a tremendous range, and the band's name is Split Pea. Not the soup Split Pea, but Split
So
Pea.
if you Google that, you can find her site.
If she has a website, it's splitpearocks.com.
Okay.
And she's got 2 albums up there. She also created a cartoon series called Little Kenya that we're shopping around right now, which is an animated cartoon about animals in Africa. So she does great. I'm still songwriting and still working with John Sebastian. He and I are writing a couple of songs as we speak. And I'm also moving into making photography, which has been my lifelong hobby and occupation, where I'm going to start working with my photography art.
And just between you and I, you live in this area.
I live in Waterford, Brunswick County. I love it. I was born up here, so I feel like I've come home, and I have a great number of friends here. I've just been very welcomed into the community and love it here.
Is playing music still such a kick?
I love it. You know something? I say this to the audience every night, that if you love what you do, you never work a day of your life. And I really love what I do, and getting to play our music for an audience as many times as we do is just like, it's like a dream come true. But more than that, it's like, what a way to make a living.
Steve Boone, legendary Lovin Spoonful bass player. What a pleasure to meet you. I'm one of your biggest fans.
Well, thank
Thanks
you, Don.
for joining
It's
us.
a pleasure to meet you. And we actually met back in the '60s at the Ed Sullivan Show.
We did. Thanks for joining us. Next week, we're going to talk about school redistricting. It's a pretty hot issue, and the one that's whipping it all up, New Hanover County School Board member Elizabeth Redenbaugh will be our guest. For Byline Wilmington, I'm Don Ansell. Have a good week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning at 11 as we explore the issues that concern you.